I'm not used to these new announcement schedules that Fantasy Flight Games is doing. It's a random Monday, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's talk about Age of Apocalypse. And they're going to talk about the Apocalypse villain, which confirms that we're getting another, the main box villain will be the third one. The last time we did this, we ended up with Loki. So we'll see how this goes. But let's talk a bit about the news article. There's not a lot there, but there's a little bit there and there's some important things there. So let's dive into the article. All right. So we have, what's it called? The Tyrant's Throne. Age of Apocalypse. The apocalypse is nigh. As we approach the onset of Marvel Champions, the card game's latest expansion, we want to provide a deeper look at each of the scenarios in the Age of Apocalypse campaign. Today, we're showcasing the campaign's third scenario, which will feature Apocalypse himself. So, stop the apocalypse. As we touched on in the Age of Apocalypse announcement article, Apocalypse is nigh invincible tyrant that cannot be defeated through normal means, which we've seen this a bunch from other things, but okay, cool. His villain card with 4 different stages, which is the coolest thing about him so far. Which one he starts with depends on the difficulty you choose. So it starts with stage 1, which is a 1-2 stat line with 8 life. That's not bad. With tough, okay. When the main scheme is complete, remove all threat from it, ignoring crisis icons, and then flip this card and reveal Apocalypse 2. And Apocalypse 2 is 2-2 with 9 life, and he has steady and tough, which is kind of interesting to do it that way. And again, when the main scheme completes, he becomes a 2-3 villain with steady and toughness, 10 hit points. And then finally, in the final stage, he's 3-3, which, yeah, is the highest stat line. He gains Overkill. He's stalwart now and has 11 life. So his life is still lower off the bat, but we'll have to see what they do with that. So it talks about, if you're doing standard difficulty, for an easier game, he starts at stage 1, standard stage 2, and expert stage 3. Unlike most villains, Apocalypse advances his stage each time the main scheme completes, gradually working his way up to stage 4. Each advancement into the next stage is a permanent transition, which means once Apocalypse power is up, there's no going back. Okay. Simply dealing damage to Apocalypse won't be enough to stop him. His main scheme, the Age of Apocalypse, fully heals him each time you would defeat him, though you do get to remove his attachments, more on those in a minute, alongside some free threat removal. So, Age of Apocalypse, X amount, which X is the numeral in Apocalypse printed hit point value. So again, it was like 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Was that what it was? What was stage 1? Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11. So as it gets harder, the main scheme kind of increases. And so 1-1. When Apocalypse would be defeated, discard each attachment from him, heal all damage from him, and remove X threat from this scheme, which would be the hit point value. So defeating him clears out the hit points like quite a bit, which is pretty nice. But you have to keep fighting him, right? Though you do get to remove his attachments, blah, blah, blah. In order to defeat Apocalypse for good, you'll need to prove that he's no longer fit to rule, if only that were easy. So, just getting the Apocalypse throne is challenging by itself. You and your heroes will have to make your way up to the heart of the Empire. So it's a side scheme thing, right? Starts off with 2 threat. It's not scaled, which is interesting. And a threat cannot be removed from the scheme while a Prelet, I always want to say Prelate, and it's Prelet, I think, is the correct way to say it. I will get there eventually, all right? We're going to make strides and improve on it, but Prelet, I think it is. Minion is in play. When defeated, the first player reveals a random set aside Prelet minion and deal each other player an encounter card, flip this card over, and comes in with a boost icon. So, and only then can you reach the Tyrant's Throne, which comes with 3 boost icons, 4 threat. Threat cannot be removed from this scheme while there's a Prelet minion in play. The first player reveals a random set aside Prelet minion when it's defeated. Deal each other player an encounter card, flip this card over, and reveal no longer worthy. Okay, wait. And then you'll make it to Apocalypse no longer worthy. So this is a big thing where you can actually defeat him, attach Apocalypse, heal 5 hit points from him. He cannot take damage while Prelet minion is in play. Ignore the forced interrupt on the main scheme. When Apocalypse is defeated, the players win the game. So we kind of have this whole thing that we've done with like kind of Hela, right? Where it's a bit of a journey, but it's also like Magneto in a way. So it's a pretty cool setup. I do like that kind of style of game. I think it's fun. So, however, each of the steps away, your progress will be halted and hounded by one of the Apocalypse's Prelet minions. So, there looks like there's 5 of them, right? And we have Mr. Sinister is a 1-1-5 stat line with Retaliate, Toughness, Villainous, and Victory 3, and he engages the first player. Okay. Then we have the Shadow King, which is a 3-1-5 stat line. Toughness, Victory 3, Shadow King engages the first player. After the Shadow King attacks you, choose an ally you control with the highest thwart. Either discard an ally or place a threat in the main scheme equal to its thwart, which is rough. Also, both have 3 boost icons. Abyss has a 2-2-5 stat line. Comes in with Toughness. or comes in with tough. Abyss gets +2 hit points for each face down card attached to him and engages the first player. After Abyss activates against you, attach the top card of your deck to him face down, which is rough. Like losing your cards is always rough, so that's pretty tricky. Sugarman, 1/3/5 stat line. Sugarman engages the first player with toughness. When Sugarman attacks, this attack gains piercing. If this attack defeats a character, heal 5 damage from Sugarman. So, oh no, it does show us all 5. Okay. And then Rasputin, 2/2/5 stat line, toughness. Rasputin engages first player. When Rasputin attacks you, deal 1 damage to your identity. So with all these minions, you're going to want to swing up for like, or save your big attacks, right? Because 5 life isn't the worst thing, but like piercing and big attacks are going to be huge, right? Obviously, and you're going to want to get rid of them as fast as possible. So you'll face a random Prelet at each step of your journey, and you can't proceed to the next step until you've taken them down. So like again, as we said, when this comes in, when it's defeated, you reveal a set aside, minion, and then wait, where's the next one? And then wait, was it this one? Yeah, Heart of the Empire was first. Sorry, I think we missed Towering Citadel, so my bad. Again, so the next one comes in. The same thing. It's two boost icons, then 3 boost icons, right? And then we get to the end. So we're definitely going to see vast majority of the Prelet minions, if not all of them. Now that you can ignore Apocalypse during all of this either. Not that you can ignore him. As the battle unfolds, the Tyrant will upgrade himself with superpower attachments. So Cyberathi has +1 scheme. After Apocalypse schemes, place 1 threat on each side scheme, which is rough. Then he gets his biomorphing. So attached to him, his attacks gain overkill, which can be rough with +1 attack. Molecular control. Apocalypse gains retaliate and stalwart, which is rough. Especially since you can't really get rid of these again until like you knock them out. Okay, so those are those main ones. So the only way to get rid of these attachments is to reduce Apocalypse hit points to 0, which is rough, but again, if you focus on attacking him, hopefully it's not that bad, but it's definitely gonna be tricky. Which means you no longer let him gather power. The more difficult it'll be to take down. He can also use his minions with the Fittest, which is attached to a minion with the highest printed hit points and give it a tough status. Otherwise, card gains surge. Attached hit points get 5. Attached enemy gets 5 hit points. These are gonna be rough. Anytime you boost a somewhat powerful minion, like +1/+1 and 5 extra hit points on all of them brings them up to 10 life, which is for a solo player is absolutely dirty. So that's gonna be rough. And he may respond to your challenge of his rule with the Apocalypse solution. So comes with 3 threat removal. When defeated, discard X cards from the encounter deck, where X is the numeral in the Apocalypse's printed hit point value. Again, kind of like going through his thing faster to trigger the accelerator acceleration tokens. Comes with a crisis icon. It is clear that this Tyrant does not like to lose. So it shows the Dark Riders as well. Modular set. Hinder 1, 2. Each Dark Riders minion gains toughness. Discard cards from the encounter deck until one of those minions comes to play. Okay. So to aid him in taking you down, Apocalypse calls upon the Dark Riders, which is just the card we just talked about. This fanatical team can hammer you with a relentless assault as more and more of them are revealed, and each of their attacks compare with a nasty effect. For example, a Gauntlet can discard your upgrades. So Gauntlet's a 2/2/5 stat line, comes in with Teamwork, and we're going to talk a bit about that. After Gauntlet attacks you, discard upgrade you control. Barrage is a 1/2/4 Teamwork. After Barrage attacks you, deal 1 damage to each character you control. Hard Drive, 2/1/4 stat line, Teamwork. After Hard Drive attacks you, place 1 threat on each scheme. Okay. So you put threat, blah, blah. These abilities trigger regardless of if the Dark Riders actually deal any damage. So you'll need to work together with your allies to send them packing. All right. So this is also another big announcement and kind of an important thing. Speaking of working together, the Age of Apocalypse expansion also brings a rule change regarding how the teamwork keyword works in all Marvel Champions products. So this is everything. In the past, whenever a minion with teamwork enter play, it would cause every minion on that team to activate once, which was always kind of annoying and overpowered. But they are now changing that. So it only causes the minion that just entered play to activate, so long as they have at least one teammate in play, which is much better, right? Much easier. And like, just makes life easier. In a way, this means the teamwork keyword now functions similarly to quick strike keyword, except the minion could attack or scheme, depending on the form the player of the player that they engage with. This scales more fairly in higher player counts than before, while still giving you incentive to stop the minions from assembling their team. Which is, I really like this change. I think this is a good change. Overall, it makes a lot of sense. So just getting to Apocalypse is no easy, and actually defeating him is a trial of its own. You and your fellow heroes will have to bring your A game and bring the tyrant down in the victor's play. That said, this scenario is on the midpoint. What could be coming next? Dark Beast. Just spoiler alert, it's Dark Beast. We already revealed it on this channel because we looked at the box. Keep your eye in the keep your eye out in the coming weeks for the next Age of Apocalypse scenario preview. All right, so Apocalypse is gonna be rough, and that's good, right? I get good vibes from him from this. He feels unique like Thanos, which is if you know this channel, you know I love Thanos. I think it's very well designed. Magneto is one of my favorite villains, top 3. I mean, he's Mount Rushmore for sure, along with Thanos. And it feels like a hybrid of those villains, which is really nice. All right, the Prelet thing is going to be interesting in how it works. I think it's going to be really tough. I think minion slaying is going to be a big thing in this cycle. And it's going to be interesting, I guess is the best way to put it. Is that I can see it being hard, but not impossibly hard, which is what I want, right? It's if you follow this channel long enough, you know that next evolution I was pretty disappointed with the villains. I think they're all generally too easy. I think this looks really solid. I think it looks really unique. I think it looks really well done. And I like this pressure mechanic it's putting on you, right? That if you let the main scheme pop, okay, Apocalypse becomes a bit harder. But you can keep knocking him down. It's not going to knock him out, which is a really fascinating way to do things. So you have to like kind of traverse to, do all this different stuff to remove all this threat. But as you do that, it gets kind of bonkers, right? Where it's going to, again, it's going to push it so the main scheme forces him to power up, right? You're not losing on the main scheme. He's just powering up, which is cool, right? It's a really cool way to do it. And again, dealing with these minions that are going to just kind of throw you off your pacing is really neat. I think overall, Apocalypse so far is like what I wanted, right? Like, I think the first 2 scenarios look good, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think they look fine for the first 2 scenarios. There's nothing super unique about them yet. And again, I haven't played it yet, so take it with a grain of salt. But this one specifically seems like the super unique one. This one seems like the one that Caleb spent a lot of time on. Now, we don't know what the next 2 have. Maybe they're going to be even crazier and even better. I don't know yet. But I will say this looks really interesting and really cool, and I'm excited. I think it will be a very good challenge, but I don't think it will be an unfair challenge, which is all I asked for. So overall, again, we only know 3. This is only a preview video. We don't know all the details. We haven't actually played it yet. I think I like the difficulty curve in this box more than Next Evolution, just from eyeballing it, right? If you watch the old previews of Next Evolution, right away we could kind of tell like, this wasn't going to be too powering. It wasn't going to be too hard. Just put it that way. And it really wasn't, right? Expert, yes, is a decent challenge. I know people are going to come back with that and say, just play experts. Yeah, I get it. And it's a fine challenge. It's still, I think, on the little bit much of a too easy side. This seems difficult but fair, which again is what we talk about all the time in this channel. I'm hyped for it. I'll be excited to actually get it in person, like on the table. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I like what they're introducing. I think it looks cool. I like these type of scenarios. I think they're neat. I'm happy the first 2 aren't like this. I'm happy it's this one. And it seems like the main villain, and I don't want to say the main one, but like the one that's like kind of the main theme, I guess. It seems like they're really trying to do super interesting things for them. So I'm excited for it. So let me know your thoughts about Apocalypse down below. If you like this idea, if you think this looks good, if you think this looks too hard or too easy or whatever, right? Because I'm pretty hyped for it now. So let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, all that fun stuff. Turn on notifications because you'll know when I go live. And we are been having crazy times live recently. It's been a lot of fun. So hit those notifications. Check out twitch.tv/G20 Woodworking. Hit the follow button there because I personally think it's a better live experience. But yeah, thank you all for my subscribers for the support. We're about to hit 5K, which is phenomenal. I got to figure out what to do. I feel like I should do something special for it, but I don't know what it is. So if you have ideas for that, you can write that down in the comments. I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that has hit subscribe. I appreciate everyone that has supported this channel. It truly means a lot. See you all next time.